Hello, I'm Jennifer Darmore with Electricfoxy here in Redmond, Washington at Microsoft Research. I'm here talking to a variety of designers and researchers who are doing some amazing work in the space of wearable technology. One of the designers and researchers is Asta Roseway. She is a senior research designer and she's been doing a lot of work within the space. One of her latest projects is the printing dress, which just won Best in Show and Best Concept at ISWIC 2011 in San Francisco last month. So Asta, tell us about this dress.
So this dress was very much inspired by a piece that Sheridan Martin Small did, which she made a paper dress and she used tea to stain it. So we were collaborating, coming up with an idea like what would we like to do next and how would we like to infuse some of our passion around fashion technology. It would be super cool to also do a future vision of where we think wearable technology and social networks might go. So the concept of the dress really came from thinking about our past and where we've come from in terms of communication. I have a background in typography and graphic design, so I'm kind of a traditionalist in some sense. Part of the training that I had was working with actual letter setting with, you know, the metal typeset, and so what inspired me about the printing press was that this is what enabled communication to happen in a broad way. So using materials like paper and ink and letters and being able to sort of convey a thought through print was what kind of is reflected on the design of the dress. Now we're moving into a realm where everything we say and everything we put out there is now going to be reflected back on us. Whatever you're putting out into the internet, whatever you're tweeting about, will now show up on your garment. This is really about adding a spin to the future where now the transparency is going to happen and we are what we tweet.
So tell us about your lab space. How did you build this thing?
We went down into the hardware lab with Tom and we used the laser cutter. And this is how we were able to sort of start to figure out how to assemble the buttons. And so that's where we spent most of our time, is down in front of the laser cutter. The hardware and everything that we did in the keys was done mostly by Sheridan, because Sheridan had the background with Arduino sufficient enough to figure out how to do a capacitive keyboard. And where Tom came in handy is Tom was really an agent to help us figure out how we would manifest the keys. He would brainstorm with us, we would try different things, and it was very much a collaborative experience.
One of the projects that is publicly out there that's really exciting is Skinput,
yes,
that Desni Tan is working on,
yes,
within Microsoft Research.
Yes.
Did you collaborate with him?
I work with Desni. Desni actually did not work with us on the dress, but one of the things that inspires me is the work that I see coming out of his division.
Tell us about your role here at Microsoft.
My role essentially is to provide user experience for multiple teams with HCI focus, data visualization focus, and collaborative consumer experiences together.
There are a lot of people who are exploring wearable technology and trying to move it forward. What's your advice to designers and companies and organizations working within this space?
My biggest advice would be to take risks. Don't be afraid to try something totally crazy, because you can never be sure what's going to happen and what the outcome is. And you have to also be very flexible, because again, this technology is new. It's not the easiest thing to work with, so you have to be forgiving and let it also guide you, because you never know how that's going to end up evolving your project. Design plays a very critical role in thinking about how this technology is going to evolve and is going to impact us in the future. You've got to have the courage to put something out there that's unconventional, because you never know. You can never predict.